Check, 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 check. Oh, my mic's working, and yours is not. 1 second. Yep,
Testing.
we are good. Alrighty. Hello, everybody.
Yo.
Welcome in to another episode of the Full Send Half Mass Podcast, episode 130 here on this awesome, wonderful July 8th, Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening. Tonight is going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about this weekend's F1 race at Silverstone, which was an absolute banger. The Xfinity Cup Series weekend at Chicago Street Course. Finally, some real racing back in NASCAR. And then IndyCar at IndyCar and Indy NXT at Mid Ohio. Also, Driver of the Week, Bonehead of the Week segments. As always, we'll go over some point standings and pertaining to the Cup Series cutoff line for the NASCAR playoffs. The F1 standings have tightened up between the top two after this weekend, and then the constructor standings from second to fourth. The battle for who's the second best team on the grid, and then the IndyCar standings as well. Then we'll do this weekend's preview for the Xfinity and Cup Series at Sonoma, IndyCar and Indy NXT at Iowa. Doubleheader weekend for the IndyCar Series at the Oval in Iowa. The World Dirt Championship is back at Sao Paulo this weekend, one of the best tracks on planet Earth. And then IMSA is going to be racing this weekend at Canadian Tire. We'll give you the notable entries as well, and give you our picks and dark horses for this weekend's races, NASCAR Fantasy, and we are down to the round of 8 for the NASCAR In-Season Challenge. We'll give you picks for these weekend's matchups. But first off, I got Tom with me here today. Tom, how are you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm here. I'm here.
I feel that,
Yeah.
dude.
That's half the battle, is just showing up.
Exactly, dude. This was a tough one to make it to. I was working this morning, got to work tonight, worked all weekend basically. I mean, it's just been going crazy, but we're here. As always, had a chance to catch some of these races this weekend. Woke up early to watch the F1 race, which was an absolute banger. IndyCar as well, and then the Cup Series. We'll talk about all those here in a minute. I say let's start with the Xfinity Series on Saturday, the Loop 100 at Chicago. SVG and Creed were probably the best two early. Zilich from the back ends up driving through the field, has a big battle there at the end with SVG. Looks like Zilich is going to check off and win the race, 2.5 second lead. And then late race caution brings out a green-white checker finish. SVG, Zilich go side by side in turn one. Zilich, I don't think, got a very good restart and left the door open. SVG maybe kind of walled him just a little bit there. I mean, racing is racing, and SVG ends up winning the Chicago Street Course race for the Xfinity Series back-to-back years. Dominant performance by SVG. I don't know, man. A lot of people were kind of a little frustrated with the Zilich thing. I'm a diehard Zilich fan. Like, I didn't really see anything wrong with it, dude. I think if you have the inside line, SVG had a nose length ahead of Zilich. I think it was fair racing, man. I don't have anything to complain about.
Well, the main complaint was that SVG was racing dirty. Have we forgot about Coda already? Have we? Like, really?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, that's just, honestly, it's just a product of road course racing in these big-ass bulky cars. I mean, to me, it's good racing because, it's the desperation and the fierceness of competition all at the same time with a good package underneath a good car. So I thought it was great. I thought it was fun to watch. I don't think there should be anything to be mad about, quite frankly.
I agree. And what did we want going into the weekend? We wanted SVG versus Zilich battle, and we got it.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we got it big time.
What more does a NASCAR fan want, dude? That's what we wanted. I mean, it was perfect. It was a great battle. I mean, Zilich had a chance to win. Obviously, with the NASCAR's overtime rules, it just is a product of what it is, and they battled into turn one, and Zilich was in the wrong lane. That's all there is to it. I thought it was great racing. It was fun to watch. Xfinity cars are awesome. Street Course of Chicago is freaking awesome. I have no complaints with this race. I do want to talk about the F1 race next, though, because holy cow, what a banger of a race we saw this weekend. Before the race even starts, it's raining. So we have a mixed bag of strategies. It was Leclerc and Russell, and I think Antonelli and a couple of the RB get one free cars pitted. Had to start from the pit lane, so the grid looked freaking bare as hell. There was 12 cars on the grid to take the green at the initial start, which was pretty wild. We end up getting a lap one incident between what was it, Lawson and Ocon. People calling Ocon dirty for that, but like, come on, dude. Like, if you saw it, Ocon never even moved his wheel, dude. He was completely straight when Larson decided to send it in on the outside 3 wide and completely wiped himself out. In my opinion, I don't know if you see it any different, but that I feel
I
like
don't.
that was desperation move, like to make it 3 wide there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's much else to say about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
the onboards, you watch the onboards, Lawson's the one that made the move to the left. Ocon's wheel's straight as anything off the corner. I don't understand, man. Some people just hating on. Well, I mean, Ocon, I guess, has a storied past, I guess. So I guess you can't really put him at full innocent, but in that situation, I think he's pretty innocent. But then what else happened in this race? I mean, there's so many things happening in this race, Tom. I mean, Bortoletto wrecks under safety car. He's backed into a wall somewhere. Hadjar ends up wrecking. Like, all the rookies in this race. Antonelli, I mean, I texted you before that happened with Antonelli, but he had pitted like 4 times before he finally had the damage and had to retire. But I was like, dude, how many times are they going to pit Antonelli here? Like, it was like watching Ferrari strategy. Am I not wrong here?
No, you're not wrong. That was just kind of a nightmare race for Mercedes, just in general.
It was crazy. I mean, they came in, they started on the slicks. They came in before the start to put the wets on. They ran 2 laps, track dried up, so they came back, put the wet slicks back on, and then they came back in to put the wets back on because the slicks weren't working. I was like, what are we doing here? What is happening? It made no
Nightmare.
sense.
It was just a nightmare.
And then
There's nothing good about it.
Russell ends up sliding. That was pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie. The off-road skills of Russell and Leclerc. Leclerc ends up going off-road, bouncing over the grass, dude, and just off of the track. And then Russell ends up going through the grass, does like a 180 spin, corrects it, gets back on track. Like, that was fun to watch, dude. I was entertained.
There's some off-roading going on there.
That was freaking wild, bro. And then I guess where the big controversy in this race comes from, and obviously I'm going to nominate as Bonehead of the Week, Oscar Piastri. Ends up basically off the safety car, brake checks the field, and then Verstappen goes by him. They give him a 10-second penalty, threw his race away when he had the most dominant car. I mean, he opened, a 13-second lead over Verstappen before that next safety car came out. I guess I want to get your opinion on this, but first off, one thing I do want to say is I saw a video. I think it was 2019 or maybe 2020 Sochi, was it? Where Hamilton, after the safety car, he brake checked Verstappen. Verstappen went by him, and then Hamilton went again, and they gave him no penalty on that. But then pretty much almost the same thing happened this weekend at Silverstone, and they give Oscar Piastri the 10-second penalty. I don't know if you saw that thread on Twitter.
Well, it also happened in Canada with George Russell.
Yeah, well, yeah, just a few weeks ago. Yeah,
just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw both of those incidents.
Do you want to know the difference here? I mean, we can just correlate it right now and just call a spade a spade. The reason why none of those other drivers got it is because they hold a British flag next to their name.
True.
Criticize me all you want, but that's the truth. When you've got penalties going after Max Verstappen, now you got, I mean, this is basically proof of the bias towards Max Verstappen the past couple of years. It just happened at another circuit just a couple of weeks ago. Somebody who doesn't have a British flag next to their name, who's now being targeted by British media, right? Now gets a 10-second penalty. Now it's a problem. Now it's affecting the race. It's ridiculous.
Well, that, and also, who was running in third and benefited the most out of this, ends up winning the race, is a British driver.
Yep.
At the British Grand Prix. Fishy,
benefited the shit out of it.
So
benefited the shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not it.
It's not it at all. I don't like it. I mean, I understand the penalty, and we got to give him the Bonehead of the Week for it because it cost him the win. But I'm with you. I feel like there's a lot of shenanigans or conspiracy
bias
theory bias here going on for sure. But then after that happens, they get the restart. Piastri goes. Verstappen ends up spinning. So he's sliding through the grass, absolutely threw his race away. That was some of the most dramatic things. We'll talk about it with Pelot this weekend too, but that's what Jared said. He's like, man, who would have thought in the same weekend that Verstappen and Pelot would both make mistakes to cost themselves a chance at a win? Which we'll talk about that more in a minute with Pelot, but that's crazy that happened. Like the drama in this race, both Haas cars with the most cinematic dual spin slide I've ever seen, synchronized spinning. That was the coolest thing. Ocon and Behrman both going around. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I mean, just the absolute drama in this race. But we can't talk about this race without talking about the biggest storyline of the weekend. X is just absolutely going off this weekend with this whole Nico Hulkenberg story, man. How freaking awesome was that, dude? Hulkamania, bro.
We got a Hulkenberg podium before we died.
Unbelievable.
We got it before GTA 6. It's incredible.
I think I texted you, when there was still 20-something laps to go, and Hulkenberg was running like P6 at the time, I think, or whatever. And I was like, could we potentially, because we got the Piastri penalty, and then we saw Verstappen spin, and so it was all lining up, and it was like, could this be the Hulkamania podium of the century, man? Like, could it happen? And it did. It happened, man. I was so scared I jinxed it there for a minute because he was struggling to get by Stroll. I was like, God damn it, get the hell out of the way, Stroll, you damn Canadian. Get out of the way. And he just he finally was able to get by him. And then you have Hamilton just pushing hard at the end, like absolutely eating into that gap for Hulkenberg. And then by the end, Hulkenberg opened it back out on him, dude. Like, he legitimately earned this podium. What was it? The first podium for Sauber since 2012 in their like send-off farewell tour to F1. Nico Hulkenberg's first podium in his 20,000 year career, it feels like at this point. I mean, unbelievable storyline, man. And then I just can't believe, like, you couldn't have scripted a cooler storyline than Nico Hulkenberg getting the podium this week. I think that was the story of the race. I mean, obviously we're gonna have a driver of the week poll, but honestly, I just threw two other names on there just to be generous, dude. If Hulkenberg doesn't win the driver of the week poll, I mean, you guys are just ridiculous in my opinion.
Yes.
Started P19, dead last on the grid in a Sauber. Like, you can't make it up. This is unbelievable, Tom.
It was an incredible drive. That's 2 years in a row that Silverstone has just produced an incredible race.
I agree. We kind of hinted at it last week. We had a feeling this was going to happen. So
yeah.
I'm glad it played out the way it did, because by God, man, if tracks like Silverstone, we like, as someone that wants F1 to like race at like these older circuits and not kind of the way the future's going with all these street and road courses and all these major cities, like, to see something like a Silverstone that's been around forever to put on shows like it still does, it bodes good for the Red Bull rings, the Hungara rings, the Zandvoorts, the spas of the world, like, to be able to keep events on the F1 calendar for years to come. Did I miss anything else with this F1? I mean, it was just an absolutely wild freaking race, man. Like, it was like on the edge of your seat. I think I saw somebody, it was like, somebody tweeted, this is my first F1 race. I just watched the F1 movie and decided to give F1 a try. And they were like, I don't understand how Sonny Hayes in one of the races didn't get all these penalties when Piastri gets a 10-second penalty for what he did. Like, they were like, I just don't get it. Like, all the comments were just hilarious, dude. Like, this is real life. This ain't Hollywood and all this shit. Like, it was so funny, man.
Yeah, that's funny. I haven't got to watch the movie yet, but I really want to watch it. But yeah, what a hell of a race to watch for your first F1 race.
Oh, I know. What a great season. Like, if you're just now getting into F1, like, this season's been freaking wild. I mean, yeah, maybe the World Championship battle is kind of a two-man race. The Constructors title's out of reach, but like, the drama that we've seen every team scored points this year. Like, we've seen with Alpine, Pierre Gasly, P6 this weekend. What a freaking drive for Pierre Gasly, man. We got to give him a little bit of a shout out too. He ran really well this weekend. I feel like Alpine took the car they had. They didn't do anything random on strategy, and they ended up finding a P6. That's what you need to do, because you saw Ferrari shit all over themselves. You saw, well, obviously, we talked about Mercedes shitting all over themselves this weekend. RB Cash App couldn't keep it out of the wall. All the rookies struggled. I mean, every one of them wrecked. Behrman wrecked. Antonelli, Bartoletto, Hadjar. Colapinto didn't even get to start the race because of his wreck that he had. I mean, it just all these, like, the rookies struggled and the teams struggled with strategy, and it made it an interesting race, in my opinion. I thought it was a great race to represent F1 this weekend, and I'm excited. We get 2-week break, but as the season continues, we got, right now it's an 8-point gap between Piastri and Norris, which is Piastri can finish second the next 2 races behind Norris, and that would be the only chance he would lose the points lead. I don't know, man. It's getting scary. Do you think Piastri's gonna be able to do this year, man? I have a feeling it's not gonna happen, dude. I just don't see how Piastri wins a world title with Lando Norris as his teammate and him and Zach Brown in bed together. You know, it feels like it's a lost cause.
I don't know. I think Piastri is the better driver for sure. I think if anybody can pull it out of the two, it's gonna be Piastri. But there's so many unknowns, especially with just with the call that was made this weekend. How do you know that we're not going to get more in the future races? It's just going to completely screw them throughout the next couple of races, and then it's over. I mean, it's over for Verstappen.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, at Red Bull Ring, with Kimi Antonelli, turn 3, lap 1, his championship boat is over. But just to have the problems that he had in Silverstone again, or not again, but just 2 weeks in a row, it just seems like it's over. I think for sure it's just a 2-driver battle here to the end. But I don't know. I mean, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Piastri, but it's gonna be hard. He's got to just cross his T's and dot his I's on every move that he makes in the upcoming races. He's just got to stretch out that point lead.
Yeah, just can't make mistakes. I mean, if you're for second place that day, just take the second. Don't get penalties. I feel like that's the pathway to victory. If he's out qualifying Lando, that's an upside. We just have to hope that he can hang on, because he's the deserving champion this year. He's been the most consistent, minus the opening round at Australia where he made that mistake, and then this weekend with the penalty. Hopefully he learns from it and moves forward. Indy NXT, Mid-Ohio, another dominant performance by Dennis Hauger. No surprise there. The one thing I do want to talk about, if anybody's seen that violent wreck between Murray and Escoto, was absolutely freaking scary, bro. Those dudes are lucky they walked away from that wreck. That shit was violent, man. I've not seen an Indy car or a Formula car go aerial like that towards a catch fence. Like, that was violent, dude, and it ripped that car to pieces, man. That was crazy. That was one of the most violent wrecks I've seen in a while.
They're lucky they didn't hit that flag stand right there.
Yeah,
very lucky.
Yeah, that could have been way worse. I mean, it was bad, but it could have been way worse. We're fortunate that didn't happen. But again, Dennis Hauger, was it 5 out of 8 races he's won? The first driver since 2008, I think, or maybe 2009. I think the stat said, to do that. What a dominant performance! He's IndyCar bound next year. There's no way, dude. There's no way somebody puts him in a ride. Only problem is he's in the Andretti pipeline, and where's he going to go to Andretti? Herta's not going nowhere. Kirkwood's having a career
Kirkwood's
year.
not going anywhere. Yeah,
Armstrong would be Ericsson would be the only opening. And do Andretti,
but that might be a possibility, Jay. That might be a possibility, because Ericsson can go over and help with that Cadillac F1 program.
That's true.
And then that leaves a seat open for Hauger.
There you go. Maybe that is that pathway for Hauger, is with that 28 ride. Yeah, you might be right. Actually, that's not a bad.
Maybe that's why he was so devastated after the Indy 500, because maybe he knows it's his last one.
Could be. Yeah, that makes sense. I think if put Hauger in that 28 car, I think the performance of that team's going to increase exponentially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think Hauger has what it takes to be a competitive IndyCar driver. I mean, I would be excited to see it next year. Other than him, who else in the Indy NXT ranks do you even see getting an opportunity to move forward? Because we've seen about 2 to 3 each year the last few years. Um,
Hughes. Hughes is the only one.
yeah, but he's also in that Andretti line, and if you're gonna pick between Hughes and Hauger, I'm sure Hauger is the one.
It's
He's
Hauger.
with the
I
one
mean,
with
for
the
sure.
money and
But
the wins.
but Hughes, I don't know. If I was Hughes, I'd come back next year anyways.
Yeah, pull the
Because
Louis
he
Foster
could.
move. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he could come back, win the championship, and then he gets the Indy NXT scholarship,
right.
and then he'll go drive for Del Coin or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because that's what Foster did. Foster was the year that Siegel and Rasmussen were dominating the season, and he was kind of the
Yep.
third wheel there. And then he
Yep.
decided to stay another year, wins the championship. Now here, look at him over at RLL. So yeah, maybe that would be the right path for him. All right, let's talk about IndyCar next. We got to start off with Penske, man. What is happening to Penske? Like, we talk about this every week, but dude, Newgarden locks up his rears, turn one, lap one, ends up TKO in the wall. Will Power engine troubles, and then McLaughlin was 23rd all day. I don't even know
Well,
what to say.
I don't know, man. They've got a serious problem. A serious problem. And you know what? They might not even be banking on this year anymore just because of what happened during the Indy 500 qualifying ordeal. They may just be like, you know what? We're going to take the
Restructure.
loss to try to yeah, exactly. Just to restructure. That might be what's happening. And Penske can be in shambles. No team is perfect as shown. And they could just be in the rebuild process right now. We actually you can kind of compare it to F1 teams that stop development on their current car to start development on their next year's car. Their performance drops, and we might be seeing that with Penske, but personnel wise.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, the only places they've shown speed this year at all, opening round, obviously, and then the ovals. And I think Penske's going to win a race this year. Iowa this weekend, great opportunity. They showed speed at Gateway. We also have Milwaukee coming up in a few weeks. I think that we'll definitely see Penske win this year. But other than that, I think you're right. When it comes to the road and street courses, they're just so far behind. It could be personnel. It could be a whole host of problems. But um, I don't know. It's so weird seeing Penske not be competitive in IndyCar. They've been like the stable team for forever. I mean, it's just it's so weird to see. Um, Alex Flo dominates the race, makes two mistakes in this race. One that he was able to recover from, but then he makes a very, very un-Palou-esque mistake with 6 laps to go. I almost turned the race off, Tom. It was 6 to go, and I was like, it's over. NASCAR race just started. I kind of want to watch Chicago. I'm going to turn it off here. When it gets to 5 to go, I'll just turn it off. I know Palou will have it by then and everything. Well, it's 6 to go. I'm like, oh, well, I just got to see him get to 5 to go, and I think it's over. Palou's got it. And then he makes the mistake. And I'm like, I can't turn away now because now Dixon's leading. And he's on a fuel safe strategy because Dixon went on a completely rogue Dixon type strategy where they go on a 2-stopper, which granted was a brilliant freaking move, dude. How they were able to stretch it on fuel to get it on the 2-stopper, to put himself in position to get a top 2 finish, which is where he should have finished. Palou makes a mistake. He goes by. And then Dixon, the GOAT he is, absolutely played the end of that race perfectly. He had way less push to pass by the time he got by Palou. And then by the end of the race, Palou was out of push to pass, and he still had some to give while defending, aero blocking. I mean, that was one of the more impressive defenses I've ever seen by anybody in IndyCar. I mean, that was impressive what Scott Dixon was able to do there.
I think that Palou just might have some sort of sickness when it comes to winning at Mid Ohio because the dude just can't do it.
He can't.
It's like he avoids victory lane like the plague, man. It's like he just can't do it. I don't know.
It's the one Achilles heel he has, man. It's like it's Mid
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
It's kryptonite, man.
It really is.
I think, yeah, because you texted me that right after he made the mistake, and I was like, dude, think about it, dude. Like, you're not wrong, because I've seen how many races in a row has he lost there? Like 3 or 4 that he's should have
Yeah,
won. Like, I
yeah.
look back to last year, especially with
Last
dominated
year
that
especially.
race, and then they failed on the final pit sequence, and then was stolen by Pato. It's like, and then even the year McLaughlin won, Pelot was the better car that year too, and McLaughlin out strategized him. So it's like, yeah, Mid Ohio's his kryptonite, man. It's crazy. But we have a third winner now in IndyCar, Tom. It's no longer the Kirkwood Pelot show. We got Dixon. 21 consecutive seasons with a win for Scott Dixon. He's the fucking GOAT, man.
Here's another stat for it all is Chevrolet hasn't won one race this year.
That is insane, bro.
Yeah.
And it all stems back to Penske, though. Like, they're the flagship Chevy program, and if they can't perform, I mean, it's crazy to think that. Well, I mean, it's not with Arrow McLaren being theirs, but it's like, man, like, what is happening? Like, Foyt's outperforming
Yeah.
Penske this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I just can't even wrap my head around it. It just, especially with how dominant Penske is everywhere else. Like, they're dominant right now in NASCAR. They've not, maybe not particularly right now, but they will be by the end of the season with the playoffs and everything. They always seem to turn up then. And then what they're doing in sports car racing, they're unbeatable. And it's like, you look at their IndyCar program, and they're just, it's just crazy to think about. Is there anything else to talk about with IndyCar this weekend? I mean, it wasn't the greatest Mid Ohio race, but it was a typical Mid Ohio race, you know?
Yeah, typical Middle Ohio race, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out the rest of the year. Like I said, we got Iowa, we've got a couple more road courses, and then obviously Milwaukee at the end of the year. We'll see if Penske turns it around at the end of this year. We'll see if Pelot could continue his dominance. Maybe we get some more winners before the end of the year. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, last race of the weekend I do want to talk about is the Grant Park 165 for the Cup Series at Chicago. We got to talk about Hosen. Hosen cars are absolutely piling up the field. That was the most ARCA break thing I've ever seen in the Cup Series. Like, those guys came in plowing. Like, Keselowski came in with like a ton of bricks. Like, and who else? Will Brown comes in like a ton of bricks. I mean, dude, that was freaking nutty.
It was really bad. And it wasn't just bad for, like, you know, the drivers on track. It was actually kind of a bad look for the sport. Like, do we not have spotters there?
Dude,
like,
it must not have.
And
it
if
looked
not,
like there wasn't.
Why the hell not? Like, especially during the last corners where somebody's going to do some dumb shit to try to make a pass on the last lap right there. You know? Like, why not?
And that's like one of the tightest sections of the track. That's in between 6 and 7. Like, or no.
Yeah.
That's 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Yeah, there should have been a spotter there. Like, that's crazy to me that there isn't. But well, I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows? So that'll nominate Hosen for a bonehead of the week this week, for sure. Poor McDowell, man. I think he had probably the second best car in the race. I don't know if he would have heads up beat SVG at the end of that race. But still, that was a top 2 performance, top 3 at worst, I feel like, by him. Throttle linkage. Freaking throttle linkage, man. Out of all things, dude. Freaking throttle linkage. Like a $10 fucking part, bro. Like, come on.
Crazy. Freaking crazy.
I guess we need to talk about it. I bet you me and you are going to kind of maybe disagree on this a little bit with the consistency and the cautions, Tom, because I want to get your opinion. I guess this is where I'm going to start with it. I can't be mad about it. The inconsistency with the cautions for various reasons, right? What do we say all the time? NASCAR doesn't give a fuck about safety. They don't give a shit, bro. They don't care about safety. We've said it 1,000 times. My biggest complaint over the last couple of years, when nobody was outraging, I guess we were the only ones outraging, with the inconsistency and cautions, was one caution would be instantaneous, another caution would not be instantaneous. And I always said, I don't care if you throw it or you don't, just make it the same all the time. They made it the same every time in this race. Every time somebody spun out, they waited and waited and waited and waited on the caution. The end of the race. Cody Ware hits the wall at the end. They waited and waited and waited on the caution. I can't be mad about it. I can't be mad about it because I've said all along, I don't care when you throw the caution. Preferably, I would like it to just be thrown instantaneously every time. That's just the racing purist in me. I just know that's in a perfect world. NASCAR doesn't live in a perfect world. NASCAR lives in La La Land. So I just want it to be consistent. They were consistent. I'm not mad about it. I can't be mad about it. I'd contradict myself.
But they're not consistent on a week-to-week basis. I think from a bigger picture though, that if we're gonna wait 2 minutes to call a caution for Josh Berry being turned around on the racetrack and have the leaders go past him twice while he's trying to get it back turned around, I still think no matter what, that's a problem, especially in a high speed. It doesn't matter if it's high speed or low speed. You got a driver door facing traffic. I don't agree with that, because if you're going to call the idea of driver safety behind the cautions, then you just need to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no question about it. You know, if what happens if your driver door at Kansas facing traffic and you're stuck in the middle of the track, or maybe down towards the bottom of the track? I mean, it really doesn't matter. You still got the driver door facing traffic. The caution needs to be called. Why is it different from road course to oval? If we're seriously concerned about driver safety, if we're being serious here, the consistency within the race, I didn't think of it like that. Sure, I didn't make that connection. I'm thinking more of a week-to-week basis. And if the consistency is just going to be on a week-to-week basis, fine. But NASCAR's still not capable of doing that. Let's go back and look at Daytona, when we had the Xfinity cars racing back to the start-finish line on the white flag, and then for the Cup race, they called a caution on the back straightaway for almost the exact same wreck that happened. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's two different series, same National Racing Association. It still needs to be called the same. So, to me, no, it's nothing has changed. I mean, again, NASCAR doesn't care about safety, and you cannot change my mind. In fact, let's go back to last year at the Roval when Parker Kligerman got robbed of a win.
Yep.
With the Cody Ware situation at Chicago. There should have been a caution. There should have been a restart. Now, the right call, well, that was the right call, in my opinion. There needed to be a caution. We don't know if Cody Ware was injured. That was a hell of a hit, dude. Oh my God. Was that a fucking hit? There's probably... I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that there hasn't been a bigger hit in the next-gen era than the one we just witnessed at Chicago with Cody Ware. That was just absolutely gnarly, man. That was honestly terrible. I saw it and I was like, holy crap, how did he get so far into the tires?
Yeah.
And then I saw the replay and I was like, dude, this guy's got to have some freaking Dane Bramage or something. I mean, that guy was firewall deep into the freaking jersey barrier past the tires.
Yeah. And that's what pissed me off about the NASCAR statement saying we didn't know the severity of the wreck. Well, when a car's halfway through a fucking tire pack, they're fucking that's a bad fucking wreck, dude. Like, God damn.
Shame on NASCAR for saying that. I mean, that is just that is the epitome of just not giving a damn. It's shame on them, honestly.
Yeah. Goes back to what we always say. They don't give a shit about safety. I mean, if you could say, I don't know the severity of a wreck when a car is halfway through a tire pack, that's just lack of...
Dude, he was firewall deep into the jersey barrier behind the freaking tires.
It's unbelievable.
I don't get it, man. I don't agree with the consistency on a week-to-week basis. I want it from a season to season basis.
Yes.
And in the rule book on what to do and protocols on severity of crashes and when cautions need to be called. Which, in the past, we've seen Martin Truex Jr. barely get into the wall at Kansas off of turn 4 on lap 6, and they immediately throw a caution.
Yeah. And then you have Suarez halfway spun in front of, with door exposed at Richmond, and then no caution for 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly my point. Like, I don't know. Again, it's just another freaking a dead horse that we're beating here. I just, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think the outrage, Tom, and I could be wrong on this, but I wholeheartedly like believe that this is the absolute reason for the outrage. Is NASCAR fans wanted a green light checker so they could see more wrecks.
Sure, okay.
I think that's where the outrage is there, because the outrage has never been there before, but all of a sudden we don't get a green light checker. Now we have the outrage.
Yeah, okay, I get it, but like if Cody Ware was hurt, it would have been a completely different situation. Like, thank God he wasn't hurt, right? But if he was sitting in there with a brain bleed and like having a seizure at the same time while the race is still going on and NASCAR didn't call a caution, holy fuck, how would they be like, I mean, if I was Rick Ware, I'd be suing the series.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't know that though until we get medical personnel there, but they can't get there if the track is still hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the green white, look, I even texted you this after the race. All I want is some consistency from week to week, and if a caution needed to be called there, I would have been okay with it because it would have been sincerely about driver safety. And if SVG lost the race because of it, well, that's a sacrifice that sometimes you're gonna make. I mean, especially for a fellow driver that could be potentially seriously hurt. You know, like I don't know. I just, this is probably the lowest of lows for NASCAR. That was pretty freaking low, man. That was really low.
Yeah. And it's just the bunny trail, man, because then again, it rotates back to why the hell do we even have overtime finishes in NASCAR? Why is that even a thing? You know, it's like, it's just, there's so many little bunny trails we could go on here that just is a waste of time that never will be corrected. So, yeah, SVG did win. The only other thing I did want to talk about with this race, Tom, was the Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman controversy. I swear, dude, all these people that think that was Bowman's fault are freaking brain dead morons, bro. Like, I'm watching this race play out, right? And like, I don't give a shit one way or the other if Bowman gets eliminated from the season tournament, passes Bubba or not. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm just watching the race, just watching it play out. I want to see good racing. And at first, Bowman gets side by side with Bubba. Bubba kind of like uses him up a little bit. I'm like, that's fair. That's good racing. We saw it on Saturday at the SVG in Zillage. And then Bowman, the driver that he is, he backs out, gives it back to Bubba. I'm like, that's typical. He's going to lose a spot now because of it, but whatever. At least he didn't freaking retaliate there. And then Bubba proceeds to
slam him in the wall.
Basically, Bowman kind of gets a good run through 11, gets side by side with him, makes the move into 12, and Bubba just absolutely just runs him over. And then Bowman completely backs out again and gives it back to him. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then Bubba tries to self-clear himself on the front straightaway and runs Bowman into the wall. And then Bowman again goes to the unpreferred line and gives it back to Bubba. Then he overshoots the corner, kind of gets into Bubba a little bit, kind of like the SVG Zillage situation. And then Bowman again backs out going into 2, giving it back to Bubba because maybe he felt bad about running him into the wall in lane 1, I guess. I don't know what the hell was going through his brain. And then Bubba self-clears him again down that little straightaway heading for 3. And then he basically turns himself off the nose of Bowman. Like, if you watch it, the replay from the onboard, Bubba clears himself into Bowman. Bowman just bounced off the wall into him and spins him out. Like, he wasn't intentionally trying to wreck him. Like, stupid. This is why Bubba is always on the freaking cut line battling for the playoff position. And same with Bowman. I'm going to put a little bit of blame on Bowman here too because Bowman was being too nice of a freaking guy. You hit me once, okay. You hit me twice, it's over, bud. I'm passing your ass. I'm not giving it back to you. Bowman gave it back to him 3 times. What are you doing? You put yourself in this situation to make yourself look like a clown because you let the other guy race you like a clown. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You can't be like I live by the philosophy in racing with if someone gets into me, I'll take it once, because maybe it was an accident, maybe you got in too hot, maybe whatever. I'll take it once. But you do it twice, gloves off, dude. Even the spotter said it. Like, dude, go fucking around with this guy right now. Quit messing with him. Like, quit giving it back to him. Don't just take it, dude. Like, I don't know. Am I off base? I don't know. How did you see it?
Look, my favorite part about this whole ordeal are the battles on Twitter with between the fan base of the two, right? Because the Bubba Wallace fans, they were like, "Oh, all you people rooting against Bubba Wallace in this situation, you guys are just racist because Bubba's black." And then all the people on the Bowman side, they're like, "Don't come to our fan base. We got pride flags." I'm like, what is going on here? Like, this is just a racing ordeal. It has nothing to do with politics, man. Just chill the shit out, man. Like, it was actually really good comedy there for a little bit. I enjoyed it.
Same. I stayed out of all of that because I was like, I don't really care. Like, my fandom doesn't affect me in that way. Like, I just watch the races, man. It's what's happens, man. Like, and sure, was I frustrated watching it? Yeah, I was more frustrated with Bowman than I was with Bubba because why? Why are you letting him race you that way? Like, at some point, you just got to be like, you know what? He ran into me twice. Maybe I shouldn't give it back up to him. Maybe I shouldn't be the nice guy in this situation.
Well, in the end, he did dump him.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it wasn't his fault. I mean, it wasn't of his doing, but he still got him out of the way.
And granted, I was in Bowman's situation. We wouldn't have made it to turn 1. Like, he would have been gone before turn 1. Like, this happened for a lap and a half. Like, this was a lap and a half of Bowman giving and Bubba just taking. And like, I wouldn't have been giving that much. I would have Bubba would never have made it to turn 1 if I was behind the 48 car. So, I don't know. Whatever. You guys can argue and whatever. I'm just going to sit back and watch next week. Who gives a shit at this point? All right. Drivers of the week, and I think that if you guys vote other than one guy here, which is Nico Hulkenberg P3, I think you guys are brain dead morons and are homers for other people. I'm going to throw Gasly in there because this was a big weekend for Alpine, finally getting some points here with Pierre. And then Austin Hill, I threw him on there, just P9 in the Cup Series. Not a road racer, doesn't run Cup Series. I feel like that was a pretty good performance. I think he needed a nod this week. Boneheads, Oscar Piastri, the safety car brake check, cost him the win, cost him a penalty. Alex Palou choking away the win. Had to put that on there because when are you ever going to be able to put Alex Palou on a Bonehead of the week ever again? Right. Like, never. So I had to do it once. We had to humble him just a little bit. And then I put Hosen Karsavar on there for running out of talent and creating the biggest ARCA brake master moment of the Cup Series history at Chicago Speedway. I'm curious to see what you guys think there. All right, the Cup Series play of cut line here. Buescher, 33 points ahead of the cut line in 15th. Bubba Wallace is on the cut line at 16th, and he's 2 points ahead of Ryan Preece, who's in 17th. I don't know, man. I think we might only see one guy get in on points. I don't know. The only one that's safe on points is Reddick, and I think he's going to be the only one that makes it on points. I think 14, 15, 16, I think we get 3 more winners before the end of this year. Shit, I think McDowell could win this weekend.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have? We still have Daytona to end the season. Freaking KFB could win Daytona. I mean, throw a name. Keselowski could win Daytona. Who hasn't won this year can win at Daytona. So I think those are 2 new winners. And then, shoot, what else do we have on the schedule? Dover, Indianapolis. I mean, we could see a random Indianapolis field strategy race. You could see Jesus himself win that race. You never know, Like, I don't know. I think the only one safe on points is Reddick right now. That's the way I feel. So we'll see how it plays out. All right. Let's do it. Let's preview the races this weekend. We've got Xfinity Cup at Sonoma. We've got Indy NXT and IndyCar at Iowa. Doubleheader for IndyCar this weekend at Iowa, Saturday and Sunday races. World Dirt Championship back at Sao Paulo. And then IMSA with the Pilot Challenge and the WeatherTech Series at Canadian Tire. Notable edge for Xfinity. SVG making another Xfinity start with Junior Motorsports this weekend in the 9. So another SVG Zillish battle, I'm hoping. Mosak with the SS Greenlight in the 14. Corey Day at the 17 for HMS. Riley Herbst, which is an interesting decision there by JGR in the 19. And then Austin Green in the 32 for Junior Motorsports. Or Jordan Anderson, excuse me. And then Sage Karam at the number 53 with Joey Gase. I almost said Karam because of that POV watching NASCAR. All right, and then the Cup Series Catherine Legg with Live Fast in 78. All right, Saturday, the Pit Boss Food Max 250 at Sonoma for the Xfinity Series. I'm going to take Zillich this weekend. I think Zillich gets redemption from what happened last week with SVG. I think he's going to best SVG this weekend. Zillich is beast, man, and he would have won Chicago if that last race caution didn't come out. He actually out-strategized and outpaced SVG at the end, so I think that he gets redemption this weekend. Then my dark horse, I'm going Austin Green again, always. And Austin Green's on the starting lineup in on a road course in the Xfinity Series. I'm taking him as my dark horse every time.
All right, for my favorite this weekend, I'm still going to go with SVG. I just look, he was so dominant in the Xfinity car on road courses last year. I just think that he can really just capitalize on what he learned last year and really just his overall road racing skill. Not taking anything away from Zillich here. We're going to have a freaking legendary battle between these two guys, and I'm so excited to watch it. I think it's going to be incredible. I think Zillich or SVG definitely going to be one of the two winners of this race. I really don't think there's going to be anybody else, unless there's something crazy that goes on, fuel strategy, cautions, whatever happens. But I think these are going to be your two main guys. So for my dark horse, though, I'm going to go with Riley Herbst. Yeah, that guy needs some help, and I think a freaking race win would really just help him.
He needs some milk.
He needs some freaking A2 milk, brother. He needs some freaking protein powder in that shit as well. Maybe some pre-workout. Something, maybe he could just inject it straight into his main veins in his arm or something. Like a heroin addict, or maybe between his toes or something. I don't know.
Between the
Dude
toes.
needs some help.
Oh, man. That's funny. All right, then Saturday for the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series, the General Tire 120 at Canadian Tire. I'm going to take Windward Racing to win this one. They're probably the best team in Grand Sport. I feel like that's an easy pick. My dark horse, I'm going to go with any of the Mustangs. I'll just, if I'm going to pick one in particular, I'll go with the 59 Mustang. Those dudes, I'm telling you, every freaking damn Pilot Challenge race I watch this year, every one of those Mustangs is often a gravel trap, the grass, a tire pack, wrecked by somebody. They need some freaking help, man. Big time. So I'll take them as my dark horse. And then for TCR, I'm going to go with one of the Andretti, or the Herta Autosport Hyundais. I'm going to go with the 76 this weekend. Just to change it up instead of picking the 98 or the 33. And then my dark horse, since the Cupra isn't running this weekend, rest in peace, the Cupra. They probably already retired that worthless program that they were trying to start. I'll go with the number 7 Audi this weekend as my dark horse. Alrighty. Want to move on to Indy NXT. This weekend, the Indy NXT, the Firestone at Iowa. I'm going to go with Lockie Hughes. The performance he did at Gateway was freaking unbelievable, going from P4 to the lead in the final 15 laps. Really, it was only like 6 laps he did that. But to not have the best car, and then for the 3/4 mark of the race, and then just find speed at the end to pass Collette, Rowe, and Hauger at the end there was super freaking impressive. I'm going to take Lockie Hughes on the oval this weekend. And my darkers, I'm like always, like clockwork, I'm going Miles Rowe. Just easy pick.
All right, my favorite. I'm going to go with Hauger. Look, what was the last oval that we were on?
Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway. Look, Hauger was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he learned a lot, too. I think he can go to Iowa with what he learned. And I think he can contend, man. I mean, look, he's with Andretti. Andretti's a really good team for ovals just in general anyways. So I think that Hauger, not only with the support from his team, but also with just his pure racing talent, I think he could get something done here this weekend. So I'm going to go with Hauger, and then for my dark horse, I'm going with Jameson again. It's that guy that I just have to choose a new guy because, I had Colette. He won a race. I just we got it.
Alrighty. It should be a good race. But then after that, we have the Saturday night IndyCar race at Iowa. It's the Sync 275. I kind of precursored this earlier when we were talking about the recap with the IndyCar this weekend in Mid Ohio. I think that there's one opportunity left on the calendar for Penske to get a win, and it's this weekend. They were super fast at Gateway. I think they're gonna be fast at Iowa. I'm taking Scotty Mack to win both races this weekend. I think he sweeps the weekend, man. I think there's no way Scotty Mack doesn't win a race this year. And if he's gonna do it, it's this weekend at Iowa. He was the most dominant driver there last year. Uh, their track record on oval, even this year's been good. I think this is the weekend for Scotty Mack. He's gonna sweep the weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm gonna go hit for both races this weekend as well. I'm going with Rasmussen, man. If you guys watched and truly sat down and watched that Gateway race and what Rasmussen was able to do in that race was freaking mind-blowing, dude. Like, that was one of the greatest performances on an oval I've seen in a long time. I mean, everybody was talking about how good Cooter was doing early in that race, but I think what Rasmussen did under the radar, started in the back, moved to the front. He was really one of the only guys to be able to make passes on the outside. I think Rasmussen has figured out these ovals. I think he's going to be a legit contender this weekend for a podium. And who knows, man? We could see a Rasmussen win this weekend. Wouldn't that be freaking wild with an ECR car?
It would be. It would be. All right. So for my favorite, I think that actually, Palou has a really good chance this weekend. And let me just pull it back here. Let's go back to 2024 at Iowa. Palou was fast. He was really, really fast. And honestly, if Power didn't have all of his issues, Power would have won the championship for sure. But Palou had hybrid issues for the first race, and the second race is when he spun out.
Yep.
But regardless, he had speed in both races. Even when he came out after all those hybrid issues that he had, if they could just hold it together for the hybrid stuff, I think we see Palou at least podium. I really do, and I think that Palou has the speed, and I'm not going to go out here and say that McLaughlin is ambitious just because Penske is just historically fast at ovals, but I just feel like it's a little.
It's a reach.
No, it's not really. I'm not saying it's a reach. I'm just saying that it's really hard, given the whole picture and the spectrum of what Penske's going through right now. I just don't know if it's achievable. Now, look, we still got Milwaukee to go to too. So, they have chances. I just don't know if they're ready yet. Like, I think that this would be a perfect time for another team to capitalize. You've got Herta. Herta can work some magic here this week, and Rasmussen can. I think that even like Malukas, Pato Ward.
Yeah.
Honestly, God, I hate to say this. I really do. I almost got some upchuck coming up, but Connor Daly as well. I mean,
I knew that was coming. I didn't want to say it. I was gonna let you say
it. Look, he works some magic too. In Gateway, and historically Gateway has been his best track. So we could absolutely see him fall flat on his face in Iowa. But what he did with the Juncos Hollinger car at Gateway was kind of impressive. I'm complimenting him here. Freaking screenshot it, record it, post it, so the world can see forever. But
flip it.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're walking into a race weekend here where there is a lot of unknowns, and I think that potentially this could be one of the most open races for somebody to win a race in the entire season. So we'll see, but that Saturday night race is going to be really freaking good, man. It's going to be really good. But yeah, also on the course of Malukas, I'm choosing him as my dark horse. I just think he's just a pretty incredible, well-rounded driver, and I wouldn't doubt a Malukas P1 this weekend. I really wouldn't.
And it's an interesting weekend too because you run the Saturday night race in the cooler temperatures, And then it's a short turnaround because it's this early Sunday morning race in the hot temperatures. So it's like last year it was kind of odd seeing McLaughlin fast in both races where he won the first one and he should have won the
Yes.
second one. Unfortunately, lost it to Pato with a little bit of strategy. But so it's kind of weird if you see somebody fast on both days. Pelot was, I think, the other guy that was fast on both days as well. And you already mentioned his issues. So it'll be interesting to see who can hit it at the cooler temperatures to the hot temperatures in a very, like, a 10-hour turnaround, basically from race end to race start.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out this weekend. Alrighty. Sunday, the World Endurance Championship is back. The Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo, man. One of the best tracks in the planet of Earth, man. Like, this is gonna be a great race. Um, with that being said, I looked at the BOPs again, Tom, and I posted that meme after I read the BOPs. I went looking on X to see what people were saying, and I found that meme, and it was like Porsche and Cadillac. We got hit with another BOP, and then it was like Toyota and and Peugeot. God, FIA just hates us, dude. Like, just absolutely got berated again with BOPs. And then Ferrari, another light BOP, just a couple pounds added to the car, no big deal or anything. That being said, I'm going Ferrari to win again. It's not even a chance in hell anybody has. I mean, the FIA is literally in bed with Ferrari this year. I don't know how
It's terrible.
they paid him off or something. There's no way that the FIA can legitimately look at what's happening on track and be like, this is the BOP you guys get. Like, there's no way, bro. Like, how does Toyota, who can't even compete with like Aston Martin at this point, keep getting hit with more heavy BOPs? Like, what is the FIA doing, bro? Like, they've got to be drunk in the FIA office. There's no way they can legitimately write these BOPs out and sleep at night with a clean conscience, dude. This is insane to me. But Ferrari's gonna win, dude. Like, there's just like they got the weakest BOP and it doesn't get any worse. So take Ferrari, put Ferrari on your bingo card. I picked the 50, but you could literally pick the 83. You could pick the 51. It don't fucking matter. Ferrari's winning this weekend. They probably are gonna sweep the podium. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And then I have to pick a dark horse, and it's just purely because of the lineup. Mick Schumacher and Jules Gunan specifically. I like both those drivers. I'm taking the number 36 Alpine as my dark horse.
All right, for my favorite, I'm going with the number 83 Ferrari because I'm on the same track as you. I mean, it's just the Ferrari show this year. And I'm taking the 83 Ferrari because of Robert Kubica, and that's it. And then for my dark horse, man, I'm still a homer. I'm down for the underdogs, man. It's the number 93 Peugeot. Big rip, homie. Big
Dude,
rip.
the Peugeot got the worst BOP, dude. They got like a 50 kg weight impact, and then they had like
Stupid.
a 2% power decrease. It's like, bro, they were so slow at Le Mans, dude, down the freaking the Mulsanne Straight, dude. They couldn't even keep up with the Aston Martin, dude. And Aston Martin's got the slowest car in a straight line, and then they take a freaking power decrease, bro.
It's insane. It's literally insane.
And then added more weight, so like if you calculate it out, they're really going to be
what do you
way
want
slower.
from these guys, man? They haven't won a race in WEC yet.
They never will.
God, they won't. Yeah, because they're not freaking. They don't have their Dollar General knee pads. Man, they need. I'm about to go and find their address on Google and just send them some.
Send them some money.
Yeah, I'll get some of like those, those letter stencils and get some red spray paint and just put WEC on the front of it. So then they know what it's for. Like, dude, it's ridiculous.
Oh, we might need to start a GoFundMe for Peugeot, dude. That might be the next thing we'll have to do. See how much money we can send them. Oh, man. It's so depressing, dude. It's depressing. Alrighty, and then when it comes to LMGT3, I'm gonna take the number 92 Manthey Porsche team. Win at Le Mans. I mean, they've been the flagship program in all of WEC the last few years. I don't think it changes this weekend. I'm gonna take them to win. But I mean, it's gonna be an interesting race because BMW bounced back from their pretty mediocre, piss poor performance at Le Mans. Then they had the troubles obviously late. AF Corsa looked fast, and then they kind of faded, and then Corvette. Dude, the Corvette team is, you might as well just throw it at a dartboard, dude. They've been the most inconsistent, fastest car I've ever seen in my entire fucking life, dude. Like, I don't know. They could win this weekend. They could finish dead last. Who knows what's going to show up with Corvette this weekend? I think their eyes are forward. I don't think Corvette's even focused on World Endurance Championship. I think that's a lot of their problem in IndyCar right now. I think Corvette or Chevrolet or GM, I think their mind is so far up that F1 ass right now that they can't focus on any other motorsport right now. I think that's their biggest problem. So I don't know. We'll see what they do this weekend, but I'm taking the Manti to win. And then obviously my dark horse, as always, because the most cinematic guy in all of motorsports, and his name is Valentino Rossi. You're gonna know he's on track this weekend because he's gonna be doing some brave shit. He's gonna be pulling over some crossovers, some through the grass type shit, running over rumble strips, probably running over Ferraris like he loves to do. I'm excited to see it. I'm taking Valentino Rossi. Well, when this man wins a freaking race, dude, we might just have to throw a party here on the Dega Boys channel because he is the most. I'm gonna say it, dude. He is the most cinematic man in motorsports. I think that should be his freaking nickname, dude. Like, he is entertainment on must watch. I wish, like, you know how like HBO does like the with the NASCAR races or whatever, and they were doing like you could pick a driver and you could watch the full onboard of them. They need to do that with Valentino Rossi. And only start it when he gets in the car and end it when he gets out of the car. And that's all you need to watch.
All right. My favorite, I'm going with the number 21 AF Corsa because I'm just gonna not choose what Jay chose for all the right reasons. And then for my dark horse, I'm going with the Homer again. I'm going with the number 77 Proton. Man, they need to win a race.
Yeah, they do.
They're killing it. They're killing it in IMSA. What the hell's going on in WEC?
No, I agree. I agree they need to win a race big time. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this weekend. It's going to be a good race. 6 hours at Sao Paulo. Give me more of that, man. Like if like you went up to a buffet and it was like picking out races for the year, like I'm going back up for seconds for some 6 hours at Sao Paulo, bro. Like let's go. Let's go. I want more of that. All right. And then obviously IMSA's racing this weekend with the Chevrolet Grand Prix. This is the one lone event where the LMP2 class on the IMSA calendar is the premier class on track. No GTPs this weekend. LMP2 is going to put on an absolute show. Last year's race was pure cinema. I think every single LMP2 car led that race at some point and also was off the track in a tire barrier in a set gravel trap at some point as well. It was super cinematic. It was a race of attrition. I think we get a lot of the same. I think we'll see Euro Interpol lead laps. I think we'll see the United team lead laps. We'll see the TDS team lead laps. We'll see Rexy or Puff the Magic Dragon lead laps. Tower's going to lead laps. Maybe even Pratt Miller will pull their head out of their ass and lead a lap this weekend. We'll see. It's going to be an entertaining race. I think we'll see lots of wrecks, lots of drama. And when all the smoke and dust clears, one car must prevail. And I'm going with Puff the Magic Dragon, man. I think it's the coolest looking freaking car in all of motorsports. I'm a huge fiend for purple race cars. I think purple race cars are some of the coolest looking freaking cars. Throw a freaking dragon on the side of it. I just think it's an awesome team. They dominate in GT3 stuff. Their LMP2 program's starting to get a lot better, and they've had a lot of pace this year. I think they're going to take the win this weekend at Canadian Tire. Let's go AO Racing. Let's go Puff the Magic Dragon. Everybody enjoy that. And then my dark horse, like I said, I'm going with Pratt Miller in the 73 machine. I don't know, man. Like we said at the beginning of this year, we're like Pratt Miller by the end of this year, I think they're going to win a race. I think that was one of our bold predictions in the offseason. And they just haven't had that pace. Like they've had pace to be towards the front of the pack, but they've never looked at them as like, you know what, this is the week they could win a race. Well, maybe this is the weekend, Tom. Maybe this is the weekend Pratt Miller finally figures it out and puts it in victory lane. And this is a race that's gonna be a wild card. There's gonna be so many different things happening. This is a very technical race course. There's an elevation change. It's really narrow. There's a lot of places to make mistakes. This is a track where I feel like if Pratt Miller could just keep their car on track, not make any mistakes, maybe they have enough pace at the beginning of qualifying. Maybe they find themselves on a podium or maybe even a victory this weekend.
All right. My favorite for LMP2. I'm going with the number 8 Tower because screw IMSA on what they did to them at Daytona. I'm still on that train. I'm still pissed off about it too. My dark horse, you got to go for the number 73, man. You got to. It's American bred power, baby. That's what we need. You went through your pros, right?
I did not yet. But I'll let you lead us off. You lead us off with your picks of pro, and then
okay. All right, so for my GTD Pro class, for my favorite, I'm gonna go with the number 65 Ford.
Great pick.
I think just this year, just in general, man, they have improved so much. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I'm willing to eat crow for this program. I've been eating crow all year long. This car has been fast. They've done something to incredibly boost this program, and I think that it's just another opportunity for them to go out and really show that. They can win some more races this year. And then for my dark horse, I'm going with the number 14 Vassar Sullivan. They're my homers. Godspeed to those drivers, man. I know they're driving a freaking 1944 Sherman A1 tank or whatever the hell you call it, but by God, they're still doing it. And next year, man, we're looking for you guys. We're rooting on that program for sure, man. I'm really, really excited about that. But for now, by God, hold tight. We'll get through it, baby. We'll get through it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on the dark horse of Bassi. I mean, that car is basically a vintage race car at this point. That car needs to be retired. They're doing the damnedest they can to win races. They are just getting more out of that car than what I think is even possible. I think a lot of that's to do with the engineers and the drivers just not giving up, man. The no give up attitude in motorsports, and they are just absolutely taking this car to the full extent of its capabilities and some. It's impressive to watch. So that's my dark horse. And then my favorite, I agree with you with the 65 Ford. I think they're gonna win. I just in pure conscience, I couldn't take them, man. I can't take them. I mean, they win at Daytona and they've won at Detroit, which are the two vastly different races on the MC calendar.
Yeah.
They are good everywhere. I just can't take them. And I'm going to take the man that I just think is freaking badass. I'm going with Turbo Tommy in the number 4 Corvette. I can't root against Turbo Tommy. After what happened at Daytona, I'm just a fan for life at this point. I'm a homer, I guess. Call me that. They're not going to win. It's going to be Ford, but I'm going to take them anyway, man. I would just love to see Turbo Tommy finally win the race, get out of the car, double birds in the air, and then donate his proceeds and find money to whatever wildlife foundation he did the last time. I think it'd be cool to watch. And then for the GTD class, I'm going to go with Harder Racing number 27 Aston Martin. This track that just plays to their car's strengths to the absolute maximum. I mean, we've seen what they've been able to do at like VIR. We've seen dominated VIR. We've seen them dominate like Coda. We've seen them dominate at Road America. We've seen them dominate a lot of these different courses. I think this one plays right into their car's strengths the best. I think that the 27 Harder Racing team is going to dominate the GTD class this weekend. And then my dark horse, again, I'm going with the number 12 Bassi. Man, they have been so freaking close to winning a race this year, dude. I think that this weekend could be that weekend. They're going to have a hard fight in front of them to compete with that Aston Martin. And even the Windward machine with the Mercedes, I don't know. I'm always hit and miss with them, especially on these type of tracks. We'll see what they can do. But I think that it's going to be between the 57 and 23 this weekend. But Vassie, man. Come on, Vassie. We need one win this year.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to change my pick here because I had the 27 Harder Racing as well, but I'm going with Windward, and I'll tell you why. When IMSA came out with their reward or awards for best comeback in the Daytona 24, Windward wasn't even a suggestion.
Fraudulent.
It is freaking fraud. I don't know. I forget who won it, but they've got the knee pads that have IMSA across the middle of it. You know? So I'm going with Windward. I forget their number, isn't it? 57? 50?
Yeah, 57. Yep.
57? Yeah, I'm going Windward. Because of that, I'm still salty about this year's 24 Hours Daytona. If you can't realize, the number 8 got screwed, and Windward got screwed as well. And they're a fast team. Yeah. I'm rooting for them to win the championship in the GT class.
Hell yeah.
And then for my dark horse, I'm also going with the number 12 Vassie. You know, Jay said that they've been pretty close to some wins this year. I don't know, man. I feel like if they do win a trophy, it needs to be a national holiday.
It does. I mean, you're not wrong. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Really, yeah.
Just absolute vintage racing out here in the modern GT3 landscape. It's crazy. All right. Well, we both made our picks already for IndyCar. I think we both had the same picks with I had McLaughlin, Rasmussen, Paloma Lucas for the weekend sweeps. And now the final race of the weekend, the Cup Series, the Toyota Save Mart 350. there's one pick. It is one pick. Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, Aussie Invasion. He is going to win this race. I don't know what to tell you guys. He is the best stock car racer on planet Earth when it comes to road courses. It's not even close. He dominated supercars for the extent of time that he was there. He dominates when he gets to NASCAR. I mean, nobody else has been able to come over to NASCAR with this type of excellence. So, I mean, we saw glimpses out of Montoya and how great of a driver he was. We saw glimpses out of Ambrose and how great of a driver he was. We saw glimpses out of, I mean, you can name multiple, like Nelson Piquet and Max Pappas and a lot of these other guys that have come from like different disciplines, like the Andy Lowleys of the world, come into NASCAR and have some success or find some pace, but SVG is taking it to another level. Like, if anybody else comes to America or even like comes from like road racing and tries to compete in NASCAR, SVG is the gold standard now. And you're going to have to live up to that hype. And I feel like if you can't live up to his hype, you're not going to be around NASCAR very long, especially with the modern day contracts and the charter system and all this BS and everything, sponsorships. SVG has set a new bar and he's just that good. And he's going to do good this weekend. I think he's going to dominate. My dark horse, and this is like we said earlier, who's the guys that could win this year? KFB, Brad Keselowski, maybe at a Daytona, maybe a McDowell or an Allmendinger at a road course. Well, another guy that has shown that he has pace on these road courses. I think he was just as good as SVG at Mexico City. I think he was just about as good, maybe a little bit worse than SVG at Chicago. And that's Ty Gibbs, man. Watch out for Ty Gibbs this weekend. He's right there on the cusp, man. And I feel like Ty Gibbs, he's that type of driver. When he finally finds victory lane, he's going to start knocking them off left and right, man. The confidence is what he's lacking right now. And I feel like once he gets that confidence, Gibbs is going to be here to stay, and he's going to win a lot of races and be a championship contender for years to come.
All right, for my favorite, man, yeah, Van Glizzy. Everything Jay said and more. I think that what he's doing in this sport right now is almost kind of historical. I guess you could say he's taking this sport by storm, man. And honestly, yeah, okay, he's finishing 25th, 30th every oval, but he's improving, man. He was like finishing last every race at the beginning of the season. He did the same thing in Xfinity, and by the end of the Xfinity year last year, he was running top 15, top 10s. Yeah. So you just got to give him some time. Plus, his car is ass. So like,
and another thing with the ovals too, though, is this guy is never driven on ovals. Ever. He's driving on the left-hand side of the car. He's never done that before. And then also, he's having to learn how to left foot brake. He's never done that before. That's a lot to fucking learn, especially in a car that's the same as the car next to you. Like, there's no parity they say there's parity, but there's no parity in NASCAR. Everything's the same. Like, that's a hard thing to do. And if you look back at, like, all the other guys that have tried to learn how to run the oval discipline, like you look back at Montoya on stock cars and ovals, Ambrose, Andy Lally, a lot of these guys, they were all doing what SVG's doing this year. It wasn't till like year 2, 3 that those guys were actually starting to be competitive on ovals. So I just had to say that.
Yeah, just give it some time. I think he's gonna get there. Just give it some time. It's his first year. He's I would consider him. This is his rookie year. So I just think there's a lot more to come. I really do. And he is doing a very good job right now. I think that he's actually hitting it out of the park. So I'm going with SVG this weekend. I think for a dark horse, though, Gibbs is a great choice. I think, though, that since this driver didn't win a race last year, a dark horse candidate, McDowell. McDowell was the only guy, and you could look in the Discord, in the NASCAR Cup news, I put in there from Auto Racing Analytics, the only guy, or the closest guy to SVG, based on median lap speed data across the entire 75 laps of Chicago street course, the only guy close to Shane Van Gisbergen was Michael McDowell, and he was 1, 2, 3 corners behind him. So, like, third place was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners behind him. So like it seems now just like the only guy who could really take it to SVG is Michael McDowell. So we'll see. Um, Surprisingly, if you look at that photo, the guy in third place was Chase Briscoe, and then it was Tyler Reddick, and then it was Gibbs, and then it was Kyle Busch, and then it was AJ Allmendinger, and then it was Ryan Blaney, and then it was Ross Chastain.
Crazy.
So, yeah. Anyways, those are my picks.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Next is NASCAR Fantasy, which we'll do. We'll do our 5-driver lineup, and then we'll do the in-season challenge matchups because they're the same as the fantasy lineup matchups. So, my 5-driver lineup, SVG, obvious reasons. I'm gonna take Reddick and Gibbs. I think they're probably gonna be two of the guys contending with him, and then Allmendinger and McDowell. I mean, I feel like that's just the easiest lineup.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got SVG. I've got Red Dick. I've got Bowman, Allmendinger, and McDowell.
Alrighty. Yeah, pretty similar. Gibbs and Bowman interchangeable.
Yeah.
I didn't take Bowman at all because of the in-season tournament, and I feel like there's certain things, Tom, that just feel like destiny, man. Like certain things in life that they just feel like we live in a freaking simulation. Certain things are meant to happen for some freaking weird ass reason. And this year with the in-season tournament, it feels like freaking Ty Dillon's meant to win this thing. Like it just feels that way. So I'm taking Dillon to beat Bowman this weekend in the in-tournament challenge.
Same. Yeah, same. I'm going for underdogs to take it all, baby. Underdog nation.
Next one is Jones versus Nemechek, which is interesting. I don't think that they foresaw that two teammates are going to match up with each other in the round of 8. I don't know, man. I kind of flipped a coin on this one. I'm not even going to lie. I took a quarter and I flipped it, and it landed on heads, and I had heads as Jones, and I had tails as Nemechek. So I took Jones.
I'm gonna take Nemechek. Let's be honest here. Both the 42 and the 43 at this point in time are underdogs. So if you look at both of the two drivers as underdogs, who's the underdog of the two? I think it's Nemechek as the underdog of the two, so I chose Nemechek.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, it just feels like such a.
Yeah, it really is.
They were both right there with each other at Chicago, like right next to each other the whole race. It's like whatever Legacy's doing, man, they've got their cars running good now, and I think, dude, we could see a Legacy car win it before the playoffs and make it in. I mean, Jones, we got Darlington coming up. I mean, I know it's not in the playoffs; it's the first race of the playoffs, but Jones could win a race this year. Darlington, he is legitimately one of the top 3 guys in the Cup Series at Darlington. I put maybe Blaney Hamlin ahead of him, and maybe Larson. Other than that, I think he's third best at Darlington in the active Cup drivers. So, and then when it comes to the next one, we got Reddick and Priest. Again, this is a freaking hard one to pick. I want so badly to pick Priest, but I just have a feeling we haven't seen a bad week out of Priest yet. I have a feeling it's going to happen in this stupid in-season tournament. Like, this stupid in-season tournament is bullshit, man. Like people are having bad luck because of this tournament. I feel like it's like I said, man, it feels like you live in a simulation sometimes and wacky shit happens. And we have Ty Dillon in the round of 8. We have no top guys in points in the round of 8. And with wacky shit happening, wacky shit's going to happen to Priest. Priest is going to get screwed this weekend. Something stupid's going to happen. He's going to have a terrible finish, and Reddick's going to edge him out there. That's just the way I feel.
I'm going Priest, man. That's the underdog. I'm doing it. I'm going with Priest, man.
I could happen. Like I said, Priest is freaking badass this year, man. He has not had any trouble.
Yeah.
Just this in-season tournament's wacky, man. I just have a bad feeling about it for Priest this weekend. This next one, this is an interesting one too. We got Gibbs versus Zane Smith. I like your underdog idea, man. I really do. And I wanted to take Zane so bad, but I can't, dude. Like, Gibbs is a top 5 guy. Like, if you're going to beat Gibbs, like, I mean, granted, random shit can happen. Like I said, that we're in a wacky scenario with this freaking in-season tournament. Wacky shit can happen. But Gibbs is a top 5 guy right now on road courses. Can Zane find a way to get into a top 5? Maybe, but most likely not. That's why I got to take Gibbs.
Zane Smith, baby, Underdog Nation. That's what I'm going.
Dude,
I know that Gibbs
man.
is gonna run better, but you know what? By God, I'm betting on an engine failure or a tire blowing or something. I don't know. I'm doing all the underdog picks this week, baby. All the underdog picks.
We could be looking at a Final Four with a Ty Dillon versus John Hunter Nemechek matchup,
Yeah.
and then a Ryan Preece versus Zane Smith Final Four at Dover. At Dover, bro. Like, talk about crazy. Like, we could have a Ty Gibbs versus Zane Smith finale at Indianapolis.
Ugh.
Wow.
What a storyline, man. What a storyline.
Wow. That would be fucking wild, bro. But that's our in-season tournament picks. Wow. It's wacky season, man. Wacky season. This whole motorsport season's been weird, man. Wild. I don't even know what's gonna happen next. This weekend could be one of the craziest weekends of all time. You never know. I'm excited. We'll see how it plays out. That'll pretty much wrap up the podcast for the week. If you guys want to follow us on all of our social medias, all those links are in the description below, as well as on the screen for you guys to go follow us. Stay up to date with everything happening here on the channel. Link in the description below to our Discord channel to join the greatest racing community on the internet. All of the motorsports from around the world's news, rumor, dramas, memes, whatever it may be. Post your own stuff in there. We really appreciate it when you guys do that. It's always fun to interact and see what you guys are thinking and what the community's thinking in regards to motorsports. Also, a link in the description to our merch store where you can buy some Dega Boy swag, some Big Daddy Dega Boy shirts, some Big Daddy NASCAR, Big Daddy IMSA, some Dega Boy anniversary stuff. All kinds of cool merch on there for you guys to go and help support us. All those proceeds help us make content for you guys here on a weekly basis. I just went blank. I thought I had something else to say. I guess maybe I don't. All right, guys. This has been fun. Tom, this has been fun. Thanks for joining on another awesome Tuesday, episode 130. Hopefully everybody had a great 4th of July. Let us know what you guys did or if you guys had any fun this 4th. Not much for me. I went to the Speedway, watched them do some racing, and watched the City of Meridian fireworks show, which was pretty freaking entertaining. Those dudes that light those things off have some balls the size of freaking boulders, man. Freaking wild, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I go back to like sneak back there every year to like the back of the pits where they light them off, and I get within like 10 feet of them fuckers lighting them off, dude. Do that every year, bro. It's like the best seat in the house, man. It's awesome.
The latest edition of people blowing off, their fingers and hands just got posted on X, and I saw some, and oh my God,
I saw some
terrible
stuff too. There was a rapper, dude, that blew his fucking hand off this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the rapper, but yeah.
I don't know what this one guy was thinking. It literally looked like a homemade firework. He put it into a mortar tube and was holding it. And you could hear the initial shot go off, right? And the mortar didn't go, but the dude continued to hold it. So you can kind of picture what happened next, right?
Yeah, lots of blood.
But it was gone. It was gone.
Jesus Christ.
Like, there was nothing there. It was this. Gone. I mean, it was just like literally that.
Yeah, people are dumb. That's all I know.
Dude, don't be as stupid as that guy. And if you're gonna play around with like homemade fireworks, put a freaking 45-second fuse on it so you can run away.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
no shit, dude. Don't hold it.
Oh man, don't hold it. Yeah, treat it like a firearm.
No shit.
Like,
it's a bomb. You have a bomb in your hand. It literally a bomb. Don't hold it.
Oh my God.
It's like running out into the middle of traffic, dude. Is it really a smart of an idea? I don't think so, dude. Like,
no, it's not.
Think. But
or like,
liquid courage is a wonderful drug. That's all I know.
It's a hell of a drug, that's for sure.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys here this weekend or this week on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining. Leave a comment below your picks for this weekend. Maybe your thoughts on the in-season tournament. Maybe your thoughts on this weekend. Just comment on the podcast. Let us know what you guys think. I'd like to see what you guys are thinking. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.